Great Yorkshire Business on Great Yorkshire Radio.
It's a Friday morning. I'm over at the Mercure Hotel over in Airedale, and I'm with Lee from Unbranded Digital. How are you, Lee? All right?
Hi, Steve. Yeah, doing very well, thank you, on this nice Yorkshire day for a change.
Yeah, for a change, yeah. Lee, it's great to talk to you. We're going to talk about your business in a little bit more specific detail in a minute, but tell me a little bit more about the business in general.
Yep, so my business is called Unbranded Digital, and we offer digital marketing services as well as web design, among other things. And our sole purpose really is to make businesses more profitable online. Rather than having a website presence which doesn't generate anything for them, we like to create websites which really generate income for a business. And we'll talk a little bit later about how we do that and the process and actual results for a real client. So we're really kind of results focused in our approach and how we do things. We've been running for 4 years as well. So I've been saying for a while we're a new business, but we're not anymore.
Not anymore, no.
No, so we've been going for quite a while now, and we're up to a team of 4 in the UK and 1 in Australia. So we're doing quite well, and record months recently, so we're doing something right.
Global. Now, we were talking over breakfast earlier, because although you've been doing this for 4 years, you actually started in YouTube at a ripe young age.
Yeah, so when I was 14 actually, and it just started as a hobby, so it was when YouTube was kind of in its infancy, so it wasn't this huge kind of marketing machine that it is now. And it was just a hobby, so I bought what's called an HD PVR to record myself playing video games, and I posted it online for people to look at. And I actually got quite successful with that, up to around 10,000 subscribers when I was around 15, 16, 2 million views in total, and we had videos featured all over the place like Daily Mail and stuff. And we also, on the back of that, did a charity live stream which raised over £1,000 for Macmillan cancer support, so that was fantastic to use that platform to also help and give back. And that is something which I've tried to carry forward into the business as well. So we do a lot of pro bono work for charities and just aiming to give back. So we work a lot in the dyslexia space, for example, and in a cat rescue. We did them a free website, and we got a cat as well.
Oh, you got a cat, right. Okay. So Lee, we touched on the website. Now, many people have a website. It just sits there. To be honest, it doesn't do anything. It's a shop window. But I like what you just mentioned there. You actually get paid on results, and you've got an interesting model.
Yes, that's right. So we talk about being results focused, and I think that's something which is industry wide now. Many agencies will say we're focused on results. It used to be something which really made you stand out from the competition, but not so much nowadays because everybody's using that same message. But what we've done is we've taken that message and we've taken it one step further. So we're launching a new model, and we've got 3 or 4 people on this model already, which we're calling the Paper Lead. Mm-hmm. And it was inspired by a model in the States, which is called Rank and Rent.
Okay.
Which is where a marketeer would use their skills to rank a website in search, and they would rent it to a business owner. So you would say, this website is generating 20,000 a month, You pay me 2,000 and you can have access to this website for 12 months. And then they might give that to somebody else in the future. But what we wanted to do is build a website that was for a specific business, that wasn't one that could be just sold and changed over to different hands, something that is really theirs. But most importantly, something which delivers those results. So this model is performance based. If we don't perform, we don't get paid. It's as simple as that. And we've also developed a dashboard for this model, which is live data. Mm-hmm. So there's no changing data to make it look like things are doing fantastic if they're not. 100% transparent, and that can be just on sits on a live URL for you to access at any time to have a look. How is my website performing? And we just take a commission. So for some people, there's no upfront cost for the website, so it's great for those startups. Mm-hmm. We're particularly interested in working with electricians, plumbers, skip hire, that kind of trade, because we've had some fantastic results, which I'll speak about a little bit later, in those industries. And we can really help them through local SEO to generate a really good amount of income through the website.
Okay. So I like that. I think live data. So there's nothing hidden. There's no report that just. We've all done it in the past. We've highlighted the good bits and omitted the bad bits. But when it's live, it's there. Eh?
Yeah. So this is an issue that we've seen quite often. So obviously I've been in business for 4 years now, and we've had dozens and dozens of meetings, and there seems to be a pattern. Mm-hmm. So anybody who works in this industry or has worked with a web designer or a marketing company, sometimes the experience isn't always positive. And that came across time and time again, and because they've been burned once, maybe with some marketing which they paid a lot of money for, which they didn't see any results from, they're very hesitant to go back into marketing. And these are the conversations we had time and time again with companies. We spent 10,000, 15, 20,000 before, and we didn't see any return on that investment. So what we've tried to do with this is be clear in how you're getting that investment back, whether it's through calls or bookings, inquiries through the website, and assign a value to that. But also make it performance based. So you're never putting money in and getting nothing out. You're only getting money out and paying us a commission for the business that you get out of it. So it's a bit different. It's really flipped on its head for what other industries are doing. Yeah. And the live reporting is something which is completely different. Issues in the industry, and we discussed this earlier, stretched out retainers. Maybe they don't do all the work in the first few months to extend it to make it more profitable for the agency, which is good for the agency but not so good for the customer. Yeah. And then also, like you mentioned, highlighting the good bits and maybe hiding the bad bits, put them further down at the bottom where the customer doesn't see. But this is 100% transparent. So if revenue's down 1 month, well, you can see that, and our earnings will be down, our retainer.
Refreshing. That's refreshing. And not refreshing that your things are down, it's refreshing on the transparency.
Well, I think transparency is important, and I think this industry, I think there is going to be a time in this industry where people go, I'm not going to pay those huge amounts of money for nothing in return. There needs to be some justification, I think, and some transparency. And working together, being a team. Yeah. We're not just an agency that just sits there and doesn't call you, doesn't update you on progress. We kind of pride ourselves on having that really kind of local and friendly family kind of atmosphere. We are a family business, so I think that's kind of important for us to work with people.
So without breaking confidentiality, have you got an example of a client that you helped recently?
Yep, so I'm glad you asked for that one. So I mentioned the skip hire trade before, which is one business we've worked with. And this is in a 6-month period of local SEO when they really started getting some traction and results. So in a 6-month period, they generated £145,000 purely through their business attributed to the work we have done. And this is a local business that only serves a 5-10 mile radius. And that is only 2 years old. So it's not an old established business. Right. This was a new business that we built from the ground up with the website and with the marketing to get it now to a point where month on month, they're getting somewhere between £30,000 and £40,000 worth of revenue through the website, which is a decent amount, which is good, which is only a drop in the ocean in total revenue. Yeah. So we were talking about transparency before. If somebody calls you direct, we don't charge a commission for that. That's something you've generated yourself. We only take a commission on things we can prove we've generated for you, so through the website or through local marketing efforts. So it is very transparent, it's very honest, and it is very different. Yeah. We take all the risk, but we also take the reward if it works well. Yeah. And we grow the business together as a partnership, as opposed to just an external agency you might use periodically or now and then. So it is very different, and they've been super happy, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And they're actually expanding into a new area as well, so that will be great for us and fantastic.
And you'll expand with them with those results. They'd be silly not to.
Exactly, yeah. Because this is another point, and I'm sure we've all been guilty of saying this. Is I'll sort you out with some money once I've made some money, and it's a promise which generally doesn't come to fruition. And I think there's good intentions behind it, but I think as a business grows, we get so consumed by the day-to-day runnings of the business. And sometimes you might forget, we might say, we're doing double the turnover, but we're paying the same retainer. nobody really is going to go to the agency and go, "Here, I want to pay double now."
Yeah.
I want to pay £1,000 a month instead of 500. It just typically doesn't happen. So with this model, we both grow together. We market the business together, we grow the business together. It really is a partnership, and it is really different to what is done elsewhere in the industry. And I think in 3 years' time, I hope all our clients are on this model.
Brilliant. Okay.
That's my dream.
That's your dream. Yeah.
We'll see if it works.
Well, I tell you what, you've made it work so far. So Lee, we're here in Airedale, Bradford area. Is it locally you work, or do you work across Yorkshire, or is the sky's the limit? If you've got somebody in Australia, God knows.
So it's a good question, that. So the businesses that are ideal for this model are ones that do serve a local area. Now, we do have exclusivity with a business in a certain area. So if a skip hire firm only covered, say, Guiseley and 5 mile radius, we wouldn't work with another skip hire company in that zone. Because we'd be competing against ourselves, it wouldn't make sense.
Okay.
We're there to help that business grow and dominate that market. We wouldn't work with two in the same area. So really, all over the country, if you serve a local area that's 5 to 10 miles radius, and we've really perfected in terms of the approach of how we do this too, in building local landing pages, getting the local SEO right, and generating a good deal of traffic. That client I mentioned before, who's made that 145,000, they now get around 1,000 visits per month to their site. To say they serve a very local area is a decent amount of people, and 10% of those tend to call or book, so they have a really good conversion rate. Industry average is 3%, so we're over 3 times industry average with that one. So we're doing something right.
It's all going well. So if people want to get in touch with you, Lee, and have what I call a cappuccino moment, or how can they do that?
Yeah, well, we'd love to obviously speak to businesses, who would be interested in this model. You can visit our website, which is unbranded.digital. That's it, no.co.uk or .com, which confuses a few people. I wish I had chosen that one now, looking back. And you can also drop me an email, which is lee@unbranded.digital. Again, no.co.uk, no.com. That won't go to me. It'll go to somebody else who's going, bloody hell, I'm getting lots of these emails. Don't know what's going on with this. So and then what we can do is we can sit down, we can do some keyword research, and we can see what the best approach will be and if we're a good fit to work together. We won't take on a business that we don't think we can help and improve. We're all about integrity and an honest approach. So if we don't believe we can help you for whatever reason, we'll direct you to someone who can.
Brilliant. Okay. Look, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
And whatever you're doing for the rest of the day, have a good one.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for having me.
Great Yorkshire Business on Great Yorkshire Radio.